Ragna Crimson is the latest fantasy isekai, but they are really stretching the definition of another world. The first episode aired as a 1-hour special premiere, and it's a good thing that it did, as it had a really slow opening 20 minutes as it introduced us to the protagonists, Ragna and Leonica. In this show, the only monsters they face are dragons of varying tiers. In this dangerous world, Leo is hailed as a dragon-slaying prodigy, whilst Ragna is a loser who simply gets by riding her coattails. It's not until one night he has a vision that Leo will die and leave him behind, the cursed boy who attracts dragons but always survives their attacks. When the day of the vision comes to pass, Ragna is confronted by his future self, the timeline where Leo dies and Ragna is left alone to hone his skills. In the future timeline, Ragna becomes the strongest dragon slayer ever, even able to slay the fabled dragon gods. But it's all for naught, as by then it's too late to save anyone he cares about. And in the moment where the two speak, he gives his powers to his past self in order to create a world where Leo lives and stays by his side, thus beginning the story. This show is honestly all over the place. The most glaring issue is how you haven't subscribed yet. The concept is ever so slightly different from your typical fantasy show. While it's marked as an isekai, this is a massive stretch, as it's really just Ragna's future self sending his power into the past. Beyond that, however, this is shaping up to be yet another isekai power fantasy, though there is still a wild card as the other titular protagonist, Crimson, has not yet made her appearance. For large parts of this episode, there was no music whatsoever. There were a lot of pacing issues, as there would be times when characters would just stand around silently, and not in moments where it would make sense for the plot. Furthermore, this is being animated by Silverlink, who don't really have any big name anime under their belt. Still, the fight scenes in this are incredibly crisp, and while there is some CGI here and there, it seems to be used sparingly and only when there isn't any active fighting. The voice actor lineup gives me hope though, as we have some fan favorites for the main cast, and they really flexed their muscles in this first episode, as one thing I loved about this installment was the vocal performances. It's still too early to write this show off, and given the fact that this first episode was a special premiere, it gives me hope that this could become a sleeper hit.